Hello and welcome to Behind the Bearcat. This is the podcast where the Northwest Missouri State University Career Services Office chats with Northwest faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends to hear about their career journeys, advice they have for students, and how they became Bearcats. I'm Northwest Internship Coordinator Travis Kline.
And I'm Hannah Christian, the Assistant Director of Career Services.
And today we are joined by Asma Hassan, who is the president of the 97th Student Senate here at Northwest. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Always the first question for students, I think, or one of my biggest points of curiosity. Number one, where are you originally from? And number two, how did you find your way to Northwest? That should be a very long story, right?
Yeah, so I guess this is a story of my life. Here we go. So I am from Liberty, Missouri, but my family is from Sudan, right, like in Africa, right below Egypt, if you don't know where that is geographically. So my family wanted a better life and everything like that, so we moved to Saudi Arabia, and during that time, my father applied for the visa lottery, and we won the visa lottery, but once we came to America, what they didn't tell us is that we wouldn't have any monetary value or anything like that. So
how old were you at this point?
I was one at this point, so I was a baby. So there was a cultural thing that you buy a lot of gold and jewelry and stuff like that for the wife of who you're marrying and stuff. So for your future wife type of thing, but it's during the engagement. So my father bought a lot of gold, and when we came over to America, my mother sold basically all of it, besides just a few rings or something. And that actually got us into housing and just a little bit of just food and stuff like that to keep us by until we found Section 8 housing and everything like that. And then we settled down in Kansas City for a bit, and then we applied to Habitat for Humanity, and they bought they made us a home in Liberty, Missouri. And I remember my dad throughout weekends and everything taking my older brother and sister to go and build the house, or go and add more things or paint the walls or something like that. I was way too young at the time, so I just remember him taking them, but I was just messing around the entire time,
I'm gonna go back to playing with my dollies.
exactly. So I'm thankful for that. But then we found our way throughout Liberty and everything like that, growing up. And I don't know, I mean college was implied.
What do your parents do?
My father is the only one that works. My mother is a stay-at-home mom because I have 5 other siblings, so taking care of 6 kids.
5 other siblings.
I know, it's a big family.
Where are you? Middle?
I
Beginning,
am.
end?
I'm in the middle, so I'm number 4. I don't know. Yeah, no, so I'm number 4 and everything like that. But my father, he works at the hospital. He's an instrumental tech. He just cleans up the instruments and everything like that that's used on patients, and make sure everything's tidy and clean and prepared for the doctors to have do the surgeries and do other things that they need to do. I mean, college was implied to us the entire time there. My parents always told us, we came here for your education, so,
go get it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I really didn't know what that meant. You know what I mean? I really didn't know the significance of education and, how it could shape my future and how I could set, a standard for the generations that come after me. You know what I mean? And I kind of learned that throughout college. And I'm still kind of learning that today. I don't have any money or anything like that, so when I do start acquiring some sort of wealth and stuff like that, I'll start learning more and more about what I can pass down to my children. You know what I mean?
So how did you specifically, there are a lot of colleges around Kansas City. How did you choose Northwest?
Northwest. So I was trying to go to Missouri State. Honestly, that's where I really wanted to go. It seemed like so much fun. My friends were going, and I was like, oh my gosh, let's do it, And I visited a couple of times, but I was taking a few engineering courses because I was preparing to be a pre-engineering major. And I remember talking to my engineering teacher, and he went to Northwest, and he was like, hey, I want you to look into the school and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I applied and stuff, but I want to go to Missouri State. I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, okay. So he came back the next week, and he was like, well, I actually booked you a tour, so you need to go next Wednesday. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to Northwest next Wednesday. You know what I mean? So I came down here and I took one tour, and it was honestly the most beautiful campus that I've ever seen. I've been on so many other campuses. Like, I don't know why I haven't stepped foot on the Northwest one while I was applying and stuff like that. But once I stepped foot here, I was like, wow, like this is just like awe-inspiring. But it wasn't until like we got to the Flag Plaza that I actually knew that like this is where I want to go, because like I remember my mother like running up and down like the Flag Plaza, just looking at each and every flag, and she was like, I don't know, it was like something different in the air, because she was like, no, like they really care about you here. Like, I don't know, it was really something different. I wish everybody could have been there and could have felt those feelings in the air.
That's a very powerful story.
Yeah. So I don't know, I guess my mom made me go to like
Thanks,
Northwest.
Mom.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that happened.
Yeah.
All right. So what did you want to study then when you came here as a student? So you'd taken pre-engineering classes. Northwest, to my knowledge, has no engineering degree
math,
available,
right?
It.
Yeah. So I was going to actually go into pre-engineering still, and then I was going to leave here after 2 years, because I was like, you know what, it's worth the time. Like, I just want to be at Northwest, you know. And then after taking my first semester of like courses, I realized that I really don't like engineering. Like, honestly, I was like, you know, I'm good at math and stuff, but like, I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, so then I just started searching for majors and everything like that. And I remember talking to Drake Summers about his psychology degree and like what he's studying. And he actually like gave me the first like input of like what psychology is. I mean, like, not what psychology is, but like how it can apply to like jobs and like future careers and everything like that. And I found an interest in it, and I had
you taken a psychology class at all at that point?
I took like an AP psych class in high school. So I remember I was like, yeah, I was pretty interested, but I didn't realize like the careers attached to it. So I was like, I was really just like math and science person. Like everything that I wanted to do had to be math or science related type of thing. So it was very like outside of like the typical norm of what I wanted to do. So I was questioning it a lot and everything. But I ended up doing it. So now I have a psychology and human services degree. I mean, not now. I graduate in the spring. So hopefully I get through this last semester.
So psychology and human services, like double major?
Yeah. So human services, it's actually like the major it's very similar to psychology, but it's based on around like how to help people in the most proper way. You know what I mean? I learned so much through that major. Like, honestly, sometimes like helping people on my definition is not truly helping them to their definition. And that was like the hardest lesson that I had to learn. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes my help is not help.
That's a big eye opener, I feel like.
Yeah, it was, because I was like, damn, like it was, it like really made me check out like what I was doing and my behaviors. And I think that was like, once I realized that, like I became a better person from there, because I was like, you know what, like I just need to start listening to people instead of just trying to fix problems through my lens and my eyes and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a big eye-opening thing, but I guess that's why I'm like majoring in human services.
So what's the career goal with that? Because there's a lot you can choose with psych and human services.
Yeah, so right now I changed my career one more time. So actually right now I'm applying to law school because, I don't know, I have a very big interest in politics and everything. And I do want to help people, but I want to help people on like a legal stance. And I remember like during every single segment of our classes, we had to learn about the legal parts of like, some incidents that could happen with each individual and everything like that. And I remember like reading more about every single like incident that could happen, because I was just interested in it. And I don't know, it hit me during winter break, like, hey, maybe you should study law because that's something you like. So yeah, I kind of want to go and be an attorney for just a bit, and then hopefully go into politics someday when I'm older and when I'm wiser,
Law is actually a little bit like engineering, right? It's a professional degree, and it's like the structure, it's like structural things, abstract structures. Really, it's not that far off of engineering. So right?
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like,
So are you preparing to take the LSAT?
I am right now.
How's that going?
Lots of studying. So I try to squeeze in as much time studying as I can. But
for like younger students, if they don't, because Northwest doesn't have a pre-law degree, but what if somebody's considering doing pre-law or considering taking the LSAT, what types of things would be helpful to them? What types of problems are you looking at? What types of things are you studying?
So first off, I would tell them to reach out to Dr. Smith because he was a practicing attorney, and now he's actually helping a lot of students getting to law school. Second off, I think I would like give them some advice to just take their time preparing for it, because it's a lot of money to take that test, like a lot of money. But also with that, it takes a lot of time to prepare for it, and also like a lot of time to like apply to each school. And with each school, like there's a fee that you have to pay for every single application and stuff like that. So I would encourage them to call each school and to make sure, like, to find out as much information of what they provide within every single program that they have, you know. But
is there a particular program that you're interested in or that you're looking at, like top 2 schools?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm looking at Mizzou right now. That's my ideal school. They have a really good JD program, which is like the
Juris Doctorate.
Yes, y'all got that. Wow, look at that. But yes, most definitely. They have a really good program there. But I actually called them to ask them about like how to apply and everything like that, and they gave me a fee waiver. So I think that's a number one thing, like as a first generation student, like look for those opportunities in schools and reach out, because I didn't know that they would give me a fee waiver until I started talking to them, and they're like, you know what, like I'll send you an email, you got this. And that was just like a big relief too, because like in addition to just paying for the LSAT, like I was really trying to calculate how I'm going to pay for all these applications. Yeah, but like I'm very thankful too, because a couple of faculty here at Northwest too helped me pay with for the LSAT too. So like I'm very, very thankful that like I had the opportunity to like reach out to them and like for them to actually help me with this, because financial
considerations, financial
Absolutely,
considerations are considerations for everyone.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So it's something. And it's obviously, like, honestly, like, can I talk about being a first generation student for just a bit? So
maybe we should share, if people aren't aware what a first generation college student is. I think that's been a big conversation.
And I believe all 3 of us. I'm a first generation college student.
No,
You're
my
not?
grandma actually had a college degree.
Okay.
So
really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So
yeah, starting this generational wealth. So basically a first generation college student is having your parents or nobody in your family that has attended college type of thing. So you're the
or
first,
has a degree, right?
or has a degree, has completed it, excuse me. But this doesn't count siblings or anything like that, which it was really tricky with me because my siblings went to college and I was kind of just like confused if I was a first generation student or not for a second, you know?
Right. If you have older siblings, they're an example for you. It doesn't really feel like you are first generation, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. But yeah, I don't know. There's just like a lot of like things that go into that, especially just not knowing what you don't know and not knowing the resources that you have, and like going through college, like I'm not saying absolutely alone, because you do have faculty and staff here committed to helping you, but also at the same time, like trying to figure out and manage all these like college stressors, but in addition to like manage your like future, you know what I mean? Like the thing is, like you're carrying the weight of like your family on your back. You're like, damn, like I'm excuse me.
You're okay. That's acceptable.
I actually really love that.
But you're like, I'm setting a standard for my family, so the standard that I'm setting must be high, and I need it to be like a successful track that like whoever follows it can follow it with ease.
Which feels like almost failure is not an option for you, right? It kind of like it's not this whole like I have a secure spot, it's not a big deal. It's like, no, I must be successful.
Yeah, it kind of has a lot of pressure on that, you know, like, and that's the thing, like I had to allow myself some room to fail, you know what I mean? Because there are like, I mean, throughout life you're gonna fail and stuff like that, but it was just like a lot harder when it did happen, because I was like, wow, like I just really like not try that hard for my family or something like that. Like a lot of like ideas start spiraling because you do have the weight of your family on your back. Failure is kind of just not an option, because like, you know, like the step that you want to take for your family, you want them to like get there, you know what I mean? I don't want to struggle with wealth anymore. I don't want to struggle with like putting a meal on the table. I don't want to struggle with like trying to find clothes or anything like that. And I like, not only to that, but like I want to take this knowledge that I find and I want to spread it to like other
help
families.
Other people.
Yeah, exactly. So like just knowing like the impact that I can make by just like continuing in my self-growth, it's not just for me, it's like for a whole community behind me. Like that's
incredible.
That's
That's
a
a powerful,
bear, though, too.
but it's a powerful message, right? It's a powerful message to carry to the younger people who are in that position where you were 10 years ago, you know, 15 years ago. Like that's inspirational.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing was all college students have to ask for help, but having not had folks guiding me who'd been there before, I didn't always know when I needed to ask for help. So it took me a little bit to figure out that, oh yeah, I'm behind. I need to go talk to the professor and say, help me understand this, or I need to go to an SI session and figure this out. And I didn't know that because I hadn't had to do that in high school. And, you know, my parents knew of college, but they hadn't been through it. So it was, you have to kind of figure some stuff out on your own. And we had a student on here a few weeks ago, Tobias Johnson.
Love him.
Johnson,
Love him
right?
so much.
He said he was raised under the theory of closed mouths don't get fed. And I love that because that's so true for college students. Like, there is help all over, but you got to ask for it. And it's sometimes you don't know when to ask for it. So
yeah.
ask all the time and you'll get all the help. So
And sometimes it's actually really hard to access too, because sometimes I don't want to, because I feel like I could solve it on my own. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody to like pity me. So I have to like get out of my own self like spiral to like benefit myself. You know what I mean? And that's something that I always have to catch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just ask for help. Come on, man. You know, I had to like always have that talk with myself. And I think that was the hardest thing too, because like I didn't want any weaknesses show in myself. Right. Like I wanted to like not only graduate, but I wanted to do it myself. But like I realized I'm like, nobody's graduating by just doing it themselves.
I can guarantee you every single administrator, every single staff member, every single faculty member here did not get to where they're at by themselves. No. Every single person had to have help getting to where they're at.
Well, and that's the story in this podcast. You know, this is like episode 25. Every story we've had, whether it's students, faculty, staff, they've all had somebody that helped them along the way, especially with faculty. It's, you know, this faculty member saw this in me and pulled me aside and said, hey, you should do this. Like, that's kind of been a theme that we've had, is people have mentored them, and now they're able to turn around and become mentors too. So you get the same thing with you. You know, if you get a law degree and you're a lawyer, you're going to be able to help some people. So people have helped you along the way, and then you're going to be able to turn it around and pay it back. So
yeah, most definitely. I'm so excited to be in that stance to actually like give people the same information that I've been receiving for the past 4 years. Like, honestly, like I'm just for real, like, it's not like a commercial or anything like that, but I for real love Northwest for always being there when I needed them. Absolutely. You know, like just the community here is just anybody you ask for help, they're always there for you. And I think that's like pretty monumental. You know what I mean? Like
Bearcats helping Bearcats. You know, we heard that from Bob with the Alumni Association.
Really?
That's what we do. I mean, that's one of the cultural values of Northwest, and that's why we all love this place. So
talk to me about Student Senate. How did you get involved? How did you hear about it?
Yeah, Student Senate. Oh my gosh, my absolutely favorite organization. I might be a little biased here, but it really is my favorite organization. So I actually ran for elections during the freshman class representatives.
How'd you find out about that? Because I'm pretty sure when I came here as a freshman, I had no clue what Student Senate was or anything, no awareness at all around it. So I'm interested that you found out about it and decided to run as a freshman.
Yeah, most definitely. I really think it was an org fair, but I think it was a number of sources too, because I was like really excited about everything. So I was just talking to everyone. I was like, once I stepped on campus, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was a different energy. But I especially remember like, I don't know, stopping by the Office of Student Involvement and like them talking to me more about it and stuff like that. Because like I was like in the running and I was asking them to stamp my posters and everything, but they were like, do you know what Student Senate does? And they were explaining it to me a little more.
And you were like, no, but I want to win this election.
I know, for real. Yeah, but I did like student council back in high school, so that's what I thought. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be just like Stuco. Oh my gosh. I was
And it's not like Stuco. Right?
No, not at all. It's much different, and I'm glad that it's much different, but I mean, my energy has not been that high in a while, so I'm very, very glad. I don't know, Student Senate.
Did you win that election, by the way?
Yeah. I got a freshman class representative position with 3 other people. So I was very thankful that I got that position because it's helped me like get into other positions. After like a semester of being in Student Senate, the president, Hannah Sears at the time, she saw like the light in me and like my energy and everything. And she offered me the organizational affairs chair position. So from there, I got the opportunity to serve with like other people so that I can like help the community. Like
Brief commercial for Hannah Sears, as she was one of my student employees. Shout out to Hannah. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love her so much. She has inspired me to do so much. And like, honestly, that's the thing that I really do appreciate about her. Because ever since like I stepped on like Student Senate, she's just instantly like seen what I can do. Like she's never doubted me for anything. And she's always given me the best advice. And like, I don't know, like I just look up to her so much because she has done so much for like the school in general.
I think too, this is actually a key point that a lot of people overlook. You come to college and you know, they talk about getting help from faculty or getting help from staff, but the truth is there's so much to be gained from upperclassmen. If you're a freshman or a sophomore, like build those relationships as well. Those people are so valuable in your career path or in, you know, just in your time here at college.
Mm-hmm. Especially because they know what you've been through, like exactly because they've been through it like at least
2 years ago, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, it was the advice that I needed at the time. But she's taught me to like be courageous and to be bold. And it's something that I didn't wake up overnight and just like instantly like pick up. But from there, like I kind of like transcended it into my like sophomore class president position and then into like the executive secretary position and finally like the presidency right now that I hold. I don't know. I really thank her and also Katie Brown. She was another president, and Alyssa Lincoln. Like all three of those amazing women have set such a like divine path for me to follow. And like I can't thank them enough. And I hope they're listening because I really like, guys, thank you so much for real.
So what does the president of Student Senate actually do? What do you do as the president?
So I do a lot. Like, I guess I'm the face of Student Senate, but also I'm the voice for the students. So I get the opportunity to serve on like a lot of boards and like be in a lot of meetings where I represent the entire student body, which I'm very, very thankful for that opportunity. So I work with administration a lot, but also like local government and state government too. So like in coordinations of those three, like I just try to make sure that the voice of the students is carried out for, and that us as students, we never get demolished or dismissed in the
decision-making processes, right?
Yeah, right on. Yeah.
Yeah. So what, for folks who aren't aware, like what are some of the things that Student Senate, like what do you do on behalf of the students? I think there's a lot of students that know Student Senate exists, but they don't really have any concept of what it is. Yeah, they
right?
don't.
Yeah. So Student Senate, obviously it's the governing body of the like Northwest. So within Student Senate, we actually work with a lot of student organizations and make sure that they're all up and running and efficient. Every organization on campus needs to be recognized through us, so they come and appeal to us through that. But also at the same time, we have the opportunity to give out at least maximum of $1,500 to every organization if they appeal to us and show us their information. But it's all only for like conferences and events. In addition to that, like we have some charitable donations that we give out. And we also like have some co-sponsorships with other organizations too. So we're the governing body of organizations, but also a connection to the students. With that, just right now, actually, like we're in the process of having a fees discussion. So what entitles into this fees discussion is every single year we have a discussion about fees because...
Brief commercial for fees. So tuition and fees are two things that you get billed for here as a student, right? Tuition is the price per credit hour you're paying for a class, and fees are other things, designated money tacked on with that tuition. Brief educational commercial.
Right. So like we provide laptops for students. So the technology fee that a student pays for the laptop, pays for the network, pays for the folks that fix the laptops, pays for the student employees that work there. It kind of pays for the program.
Pays for your cord that you lose when you're dragging it around everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to
No.
interrupt.
I always lose that cord. So, but most definitely. So Student Senate, because of Senate Bill 389, Dr. Baker hounds us on that Senate bill. But because of that, they have the university has to appeal to the students and get their vote to make sure any fees, any additional fees is passed through us. So every single year, like we have this discussion on like raising or lowering fees and the circulation of fees. You know what I mean? Who it gets distributed to. So right now we're talking about wellness services, and we have 2 fee options of $2 to increase the wellness services fee to $2, or the other option is $4.65.
Can you talk to us as president? I imagine this is also part of your job. The implications, because it sounds to me like raising a fee is a bad idea unless I have an understanding of what it can do to benefit people.
Yeah, most definitely. So there's like a lot of benefits that go into the wellness services fees. If you guys don't know of the programs, they have Green Dot, they have Partners in Prevention training, and in addition to that, they also have counseling services and peer coaching. So it's not only just for counseling, but there's a lot of programs granted to them too. So wellness services is run under 2 allocations, and one is a grant allocations. And if you guys don't know what grants are, you just write a big paper to the state and ask them for money. So that's the basic definition.
That's a great definition.
That is. And if you'd like more information on grants, we have a past episode with Ty Parsons, who's the university grants writer, and he talks about them as well. So you can go back and listen to that one and educate, and then come back to this point and you'll know all about it.
Yeah. A lot, he'll probably educate you guys a lot more than I did. So then the other way that they receive funding is designated fees. So right now they are operating at full capacity. So they are seeing as many patients as they, not patients, but clients, as many clients as they can. So right now, and in addition to that, they also they have to chart their information and run all these programs and everything like that. So the staff is very overwhelmed with the tax load of what's happening. So raising the fee to $4.65 will provide 2 additional members to the wellness services team.
So that they can better serve the students, serve more students, have more of a capacity to serve students.
Yeah, so this will also decrease wait time and make sure that you are seen at a better time than just that 2-week waiting period that we have. But then it also we added in additional programming and making sure that this is sustainable for 5 years too. So this $4.65, although it seems like it's a lot, it will dramatically help wellness services. They do so much on campus holistically, and things that we also don't see often. You know what I mean? They're placed in the corner of campus all by themselves and everything like that. So we don't really see the good things that they do. You know what I mean? The impact they make on campus, because it's really just blinded in that small little building off on the corner of campus. But they do a lot, and they help every single student. And I bet if you ask any student on campus how wellness service has helped you, they could give you a story.
Absolutely. So one thing we like to ask, especially the students we talk to, is, you're a senior now, you're getting ready to graduate and go on to do amazing things that you've told us about. So what advice do you have for students who are maybe younger or starting out, and how can they be as successful as you are, Madam President? I just wanted to throw Madam President in there too.
Wow, I love it that you called me Madam President. Wow, I will take it. But to be successful, my number one advice is to be courageous, be uncomfortable. Ask for, that also goes into asking for help when you don't really feel like asking for help. I don't know. I feel like I couldn't have been in the position that I was if I wasn't courageous, if I wasn't bold, if I didn't put myself outside of the box that I used to place myself in. You know what I mean? It just takes a lot of courage to not only just go to classes and stuff like that, but to make sure that you're being successful in every single course, and to make sure that when you go to organizations that you're in full attentiveness and you're consciously there. You know what I mean? And to make sure that at any opportunity you could help somebody to the best of your ability and on their terms. So it just takes a lot of courage to also learn about the qualities about yourself that you need to work on. And I think that was a big thing for me too, because I feel coming into college, I was very very outgoing, very talkative. You know what I mean? And I was helping people in the ways that, just like we were speaking about before, I was helping people in the ways that
you thought they need to be helped.
Yeah. And that was a really I had to be courageous enough to recognize that in myself, you know what I mean? To learn that was not a trait that needs to be carried on, you know what I mean? This needs to be stopped right now, you know? I guess I had to expose myself for what I could work on.
All right, the last question. What does it mean to you to be a Bearcat?
To be a Bearcat is to be intentional and to be bold, you know? I don't know if I can explain that than just the terms themselves, but be intentional with everything you do. Have a genuine effect to everything, and people will genuinely respond to that, you know? Be there, be present, listen to others, and then to be bold. And when you see something isn't right, be bold enough to stand up, be bold enough to speak up about it. Have that voice. Use your voice. Yeah.
Absolutely. We are Bearcats, hear us roar, right?
Yes. Show that pride.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
thank you so much.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, that will do it for another Behind the Bearcat, and we will talk to you next time. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to follow on your podcast platform of choice and on YouTube. Also, click the little notification bell on YouTube so you never miss an upload. And you can follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and we have a LinkedIn page.